We are live. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. This is a special edition of the Rig Report. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm here with my co-host, Amy Radowski, and we have a special guest with us, Logan Ewing, who has been battling a lot over the last few weeks, and we're going to document what that is. But first of all, I want you to know who Logan is. And Logan is a former teen CrossFit Games athlete. So I'm going to pull up his bio real quick just to show that. So here is his. So here he is, 2018. Is that right? Yep. I need to blow up my screen. 2018 CrossFit Games athlete in the 16 to 17 division. 2021 was his first quarterfinal. 21 was his first quarterfinal. 263rd in North America. Made a huge leap in his second year in quarterfinals to 126th. 126 is very important because in North America, they take the top 120 athletes. And as you have seen across the CrossFit space, that there have been a lot of video issues. There have been a lot of submission issues, late to define the final leaderboard on the team side. So some team athletes have not withdrawn their name or have been trying, and it will not come off for backfilling. So we're going to document some things with Logan. He made a post yesterday, and I'm going to show that real quick on Instagram, where he kind of documents the whole thing. And he went through like just what he felt, and I can't move it. New software, trying to work out the kinks. But you talk about basically at the opening that you are very satisfied with the way you performed. You wish you were a little stronger, but your fitness level you were very happy with during the process. So walk us through your post, and then we'll attack each item in that.
Oh yeah. My first point, I kind of like did it as a list, kind of in order, mostly in order. But like my first point was like, I'm happy with how I did. Like I only redid the 5th workout just because it was easy to redo. It was low impact. It was just super fast. Like there was no reason to not redo it, I guess, just given the position I knew I was in. So other than that, like one and done with everything, which was not the case last year. So one and done with everything. And then I was doing them alongside some of the best in the world. Like event 2, I was right next to Guy, and then Tyler was kind of like behind and to the side a little bit, and Roman was next to him. So like it was a good group, and I felt like I was kind of holding my own with them, which is encouraging. Especially, those guys are so fit, and then the handstand push-up one, I did that with Luis, fittest man in Mexico, who he was here for a month, became really close with the guy. He's fit. So had a really, really fun battle with him there, like a little friendly battle on that workout. Finished faster than I was expecting. And then event 3 did that just Roman and I. Everybody else took that afternoon off. So Roman and I did that together. And if you know anything about Roman, that workout is like ballpark for him. Like he hit a home run on that, and we all knew he was going to. And so I was like, you know what, like I'm not going to have anybody better to do this workout with. So I did it with him, and I was so happy with that workout. Like that might be the one I was the most happy about, the notorious event 3. And, so I was super happy with that. I went and did event 5. Obviously event 4, I just need to get stronger. Top end strength, especially. I am not happy with my lifts in that anyways. Like I was about 20 pounds off of my PR clean, and I was like 30, 40 pounds off of my overhead squat. So that one hurt. That one like was a little shot. It was like, all right, like you got to work on that. And I knew that. going in. So when you know it's going to hurt, it hurts you a little less when you see it. But then did event 5, did it the first time, tried touch and go. Wasn't happy with that time anyways. But then I was like, I think I could do it faster if I just did quick singles. So I redid it Sunday, did quick singles. Super happy with how that one went. I was about 5 seconds faster than what my goal time was. My goal time was 3:15. I was 3:10. And so, I was happy with that. I rode faster on that one. So I kind of figured out that the row isn't necessarily going to kill you as much as you might think. So, just not just that weekend, my fitness level, but just how I've progressed in the 5 months that I've been here. Like, I was so excited to go like display that at semifinals, like show like, hey, like last year I was dealing with a little bit of an injury, but I was not fit last year, not fit enough last year. And this year, like I've just trained like hell and just battled and really locked down, like not going out, not doing all these crazy things. Like I'm just so focused on training now that I was just so excited for that to pay off.
And you've gone all in. You've moved to Cookeville to train as a Mayhem athlete. You are the youngest athlete to ever compete at a sanctional. And as you said before we came on the air, that'll stick because sanctionals are gone. so you'll always be the youngest.
Yep.
So you've gone all in this year, and then it's kind of been taken away. So kind of explain to us what transpired that took this away from you.
Like the first, and I think kind of the most well-known issue with individual quarterfinals this year is that event 3. And that was actually my second point in the post is there were, I don't know the exact number. I put 200 on my post, but I know it's way more than that. 200 scores that were invalid, incorrect, however you want to say it. Erroneous, I think, is the term that CrossFit's been using. And that makes a huge impact on the leaderboard. And Andrew Hiller went through the leaderboard. He broke it down. I think his leaderboard readjustment had me at 121, which I'd be going if I was 121. But when we did a little more research into it, I'd have to go look. I don't have it on me, but I don't remember if it's 119 or 120. But point is, I was above the cut line, which also from our understanding on how they seeded people is if you live in that state and you are in the top 120, so you're not a backfill, you automatically go to your state. So that was the rule last year. And from what I've heard, that was how they kept it this year. So me being in Tennessee, I had 2 options, MAC or syndicate. So essentially I would know I'm either MAC or syndicate. I would have been in that first wave of invites. But that workout 3, like I was telling you, like I was so happy with my score on that, like being able to hang in there with Roman, seeing what everybody else, not just at Mayhem, but like that I know that are really fit or good runners, good rope climbers, like stuff like seeing where my score was stacking up with them. I was like, hey, like that makes me feel good. And then like everybody at the gym that watched me do it, they're like coming over to me. They're like, dude, like that was perfect. Like that's going to help offset kind of the damage that the lift is going to do. Didn't happen. But that's what we were thinking was going to happen. And yeah, there's just, I think they removed the top 3 or 4 scores, which were the guys above Jeffrey Adler, which he absolutely crushed that workout. But then as soon as you get Jeffrey Adler below that, it's same thing again. You got people that are, the score sticks out. And the score sticks out a lot. And then even like my thing is, even if you did half of the reps on that workout would have been exponentially easier. So it wouldn't have impacted you as much throughout the weekend. So you're fresher going into the other events, because I can tell you, like the wall balls, they blew your legs up for the shuttle runs. The rope climbs weren't that bad, but those shuttle runs were terrible. Like that was what I felt. My calves, my hamstrings, even kind of my lower back was blown up the next day just from all that start, stop, bend down, touch the line. The bend down, touch the line alone was just devastating on your body. So, if you do half of that, you're not carrying that with you the way that the people that did it correctly are.
So Amy, you did the shuttle runs in the age group online qualifier.
I did.
Can you attest to that same thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, my quads and hamstrings were blown up after that. Yeah, for
Your
sure.
guys' workout looked pretty tough too. That was a quick one. So
It was quick, 10 minutes. Woo! A lot of rope climbs too.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So then we have that, right? That you, with the score adjustment, even though CrossFit came out and said that there will be no difference to the leaderboard if they invalidate the scores, I think it's been proven over time that that is not true.
Not even close to the truth.
Right. So there were, at the end of the day, there were 5 backfills for people who declined their invite to the semifinals. You were 126. So now we're down to 125 on the non-adjusted leaderboard. You are the next guy up.
Yeah. And to go along before that, so you saw there's the live leaderboard. Like you could see once someone accepts, their name populates to that semifinal. So the deadline to accept, I think it was April 13th. It was a Wednesday. So they got their invites Monday. I'm just going to say Monday the 11th and Wednesday the 13th. I could be wrong, but it was in that time frame. So that Monday they get their invite. You had to accept or decline by Wednesday, right? Wednesday at 7:00 my time. So at 9:00 my time, I kind of looked and there were 9 spots. 9, not 5, 9. And I was like, oh, like I was happy. Like I was real pumped that night. I was like, you know what? Like that erases workout 3. So there were like, I want to say 4 spots at Atlas, 2 at Mac, 2 at Granite, and 1 at Syndicate, something like that. It was I don't even know if that math added up right, but actually it did. But it was, I want to say that's what it was. And then I looked again 3 days later and 5 days later. So 3 days and 5 days after the deadline, I looked, and that was still how it was. There were still those 4, 2, 2, and 1 spot. So every semifinal had an opening. And I was like, sweet. Like there's 3 openings in Tennessee. Like there's no way I don't get sent to Tennessee. And there was another guy that's a backfill that I know that's from East Nashville. So I was like, he'll get one, I'll get one, and then somebody else will get a Tennessee spot. Well, then a week after the deadline, we checked the leaderboard and it was like, whoa, how are there only 4 spots now? So it was either a week or 8 days after the deadline that we looked again, and now there's only 4 spots, and they were all at Atlas. And so then I'm like, okay, let me check the guy in 121. Let me check the guy in 122, see if these guys have been invited, and that's how they're starting to populate it. They hadn't gotten an invite yet. So I was like, where did these spots come from? It was from people that had already declined. So did you give them another chance to accept an invite? Because like, if that's the case, like my biggest problem with that is, it was kind of what they said with Annika. We were talking about that, her situation before I got on here. If you say a deadline is a deadline, you need to stick to that. And they clearly did not stick to it in this situation. Like we're talking a week after the deadline. With Annika's situation, we're talking minutes. Not like a week later, she's like, hey, my score's not up. No, she was on it right away. Hey guys, here's what happened. And now you've got this situation where a week later after the deadline, people are still rolling in before they start backfilling. So that was kind of like a real, like my heart sank and I was like, what is happening right now? Like what is going on with this leader?
Have they addressed that portion of it at CrossFit?
I haven't heard anything about it. Honestly, that was something that not a whole lot of people other than kind of the people in my situation knew, because people weren't necessarily checking the leaderboard as much as we were. Like sure. We were there for people in my position. We were checking the leaderboard every day, you know, like, has anything changed? Has anything changed? And I honestly was checking it every day. So all of a sudden, a week, 8 days later, and I checked it the day before and nothing was on there. Just boom, new names that were in that initial round are now on the leaderboard that weren't there before.
So when I was chatting with you last night, you had reached out to CrossFit as well.
4 times.
Say that one more time, please.
4 times. Also, I reached out to the MAC organizers because MAC/syndicate, and just said, hey guys, like I've been trying to contact them. I don't know if there's any way you guys can like step in and like reach out to them. Like I know they don't control their leaderboards. So I was like, is there anything you guys can do? And that was yesterday. I haven't heard back yet. They messaged me initially that they can't do anything about the leaderboard directly. And then I asked them like, hey, do you have a contact? Because I don't have one, obviously.
So, but you were given, like there is an email with the submission stuff that you can reach out to. You've reached out 4 times. How many responses have you received?
About this, 0. I had reached out to them 2 days after the survey that they sent out, like, can you travel? That the survey that apparently meant nothing. I emailed them and I was like, hey guys, like I can't see my survey, but I want to reach out and say like, if you need me to go to Canada, I'll figure it out. I need to know. Like, and they responded to me that within that day. It was like 2 hours maybe. They responded to me. So I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, like they have people that'll respond to you fast. So like when I sent out my first email to them about this situation, I was expecting an answer back. Didn't get one. A week goes by and I was like, you know what? Copy and paste, send it again. Another couple days goes by. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing this until I get a response. So did it again. Another couple days, did it again. And then there's an athlete that I know who's a team athlete that accepted the individual invite. And then he had emailed them, hey guys, I'm going team. I didn't mean like, I don't want my name on the individual leaderboard. I went team. That might've been like 2-3 weeks ago now that he reached out to them, hasn't heard anything back, and his name's still up. So
I can tell you personally, one of our partners in our media network is Taylor Stride. She is part of Blue City CrossFit Gold. They delayed the definition of final leaderboard for the team for like 5 days.
Yeah.
And they told her, accept your individual invite. You can rescind it once you know for sure you are in the team. When they got into the team, they're at the syndicate. She's rescinded her individual and her name is still on the leaderboard.
So that's 2 people at syndicate then, because the guy that I know is syndicate.
That's a girl, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I'm saying it happens to be the same event. I knew what you're saying there. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. So I know for a fact that is happening, that team members who have rescinded their individual invites have not been removed from the leaderboard. And right now you need one person to come off the leaderboard and you are in.
Yep. One of my good buddies, he works for Proven, and they have an athlete that was 2 spots ahead of me. And so me and that guy kind of connected. Like we talked like, hey man, like we're in a very similar situation. And then my buddy was like, hey dude, like Gunnar got his invite today. Like yours is coming. And then like a couple days went by and I was like, I wonder what 125 is looking like. So I reach out to the guy. He's like, yeah, dude, I got mine. Have you gotten yours? And I was like, huh. It's like, okay, so something's going on here. And then that's kind of when I just started to like really break everything down. And then that's when it kind of like really started to worry me. Like obviously before I was worried, but like you're worried until you get the invite. You could be second in North America on the quarterfinal, and part of you is still like worried about, is that invite coming until it comes? Like, that's just how it works. There's always that anxiety. You're always like second guessing everything. Like maybe they're going to pull my name off. Like, and no, I mean, just kept wondering. Days went by, weeks went by, and it's like, no, I'm still in this situation, still sitting here with no invite, and 3 weeks away from the syndicate right now, right?
Yeah. So have you been continuing your training as if you're going?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been kind of hammering down like, but then the other thing is like, how do I know that if that spot opens up, how do I know they're going to give me the syndicate spot? You know, like right now I feel like it's between Syndicate and Atlas. And that is a horrible problem to have because that's first week and last week, which makes a big difference in preparation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, am I preparing for the first week or am I preparing for the last week in middle of June or this month? Next month.
Yeah. Ashley McMains makes an excellent point, as you can see here on the screen. If this was done in any other profession, it would be deemed so unprofessional. People would probably lose their jobs over something like this. I've seen people lose their jobs for less in finance, as I work in that kind of world anyway, for less than this.
And for good reason.
Yeah. And I think Brian Friend made a great point the other night on the Savon podcast where he was talking about when the Ukrainian athletes made the protest on the leaderboard, that stuff got removed instantly.
Yeah.
And now with this stuff, it's taking weeks after week after week.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just like every opportunity that there could be something not be addressed. They just don't address anything, you know, like if they would have like reached out and gotten back with me and said, hey, like what we have kind of speculated at Mayhem, me and like the important people at Mayhem, like what we have speculated is that, well, maybe they're trying to figure out what they're doing. Like maybe they know that team athlete wants off, but they're waiting to take him off until they know if it's me going in that spot or somebody else going in that spot and then me taking theirs. And I'm like, you know, like that's fine if you reach out and tell me. And then as the days and weeks go by, then all of a sudden it's like, obviously, like if I go to Syndicate, it's not a big deal because it's 70 miles down the road. Like finding a hotel, that's not a problem. I don't have to get a flight, like none of that. So like logistically, that one is easy. But say they want to send me to Atlas. Flights are going to start getting more expensive. Airbnbs, hotels, they're going to start getting booked. Like it's just a nightmare at that point to try to make it to that event. And like if they would have told me right off the jump, like, hey, we're thinking you're probably going to go to Atlas, I'm not as frustrated. It's just a communication thing, honestly. Like just communicate with us. Like let us know what we should be looking into. Like, do I need to be looking into a flight? Like I have a passport. I got a passport years ago when I went to Strength and Depth. Like I have that. I can get there, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing, right? One, you have a list of things that really should have allowed you into the semifinals. Number one being workout 3 that was a disaster in validating scores.
To say the least, yes.
You have 2, the fact that there are people who decline to go to the semis, and then after the fact, they show up on the leaderboard a week later. And then you have the team members that have rescinded and aren't being removed from the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And through all of this, 4 attempts to communicate with CrossFit, no return message.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just the tough pill to swallow about it. Honestly, like when all the controversy around event 3, like kind of first surfaced, like there was the Hiller video, there were the people in Europe, I think that like did the same thing he did. Like all these people that broke down like what impact that had and just like kind of put light on the fact of event 3. Like I didn't pay much attention to it. And like I told my girlfriend while we were sitting here, I was like, you know, like that sucks. Like that sucks that it would have bumped me up. But at the time there were 9 spots open. So I'm thinking it sucks, but I'm still in. So whatever. Like, and then those spots mysteriously fill up a week later. And then it's like, oh, event 3 was a bigger deal than I thought it was. Much bigger deal than I thought it was.
So I don't know if you can see Ashley's comment. Are you vaccinated where you can get into Canada?
Yeah, we can get into Canada.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've reached out to the people I need to within Canada
Yeah.
to figure that. I'm going to compete at Can West in July, so yeah, we're good. We're good to go there. Like I said,
Awesome.
At this point, however many weeks out from that, it's going to be a disaster to get flights, get everything situated. So it's like not ideal now.
Well, I don't even know what to say at this point. Like it seems like every day there's something else that's happening with CrossFit that's preventing the fittest from making it to the next level.
Yeah.
And it's not just you, it's like across the board.
Yeah. And that's kind of that was ultimately why I decided to post that yesterday. Like it had been on my mind. It had been something I'd kind of entertained doing earlier, but then I was like, you know what, like maybe they're going to contact me. And then after so many times of just refreshing my email and not seeing anything, then it was like, all right, like this isn't just for me. Like I'm sure it's happening in Europe because they have multiple semifinals. I'm sure it's even happening in the continents that have one. I'm sure there's females. I'm sure there's males. The guy directly one place behind me, the guy 5 places behind me, they're all affected by this. Everybody is affected by workout 3 and then the poor communication. And it's like, I felt like my situation can help maybe shine the light on that. And maybe these people are in the same situation as me and they've reached out and heard nothing. So just getting the opportunity to kind of bring it to light, I think is going to help more than just me. Like I don't want to just harp on this for my own self-interest. Like there are people who are deserving of being at the semifinals that as it stands right now will not be at semifinals. And I see a problem with that. Like there's so little spots at semifinals that if you earned one of those spots, the chances are you have worked your ass off to get there. You don't accidentally make a semifinal. You might accidentally make quarterfinals, but you do not accidentally make a semifinal. You trained your ass off and you're really, really good at this sport to get to a semifinal. So to not have that work pay off when you truly earned that spot, not just me. I'm sure there's at least 5 other people, if not way more. To not have that work pay off is devastating and quite honestly unfair.
Well, I think, this is the weekend of the NFL draft, and it's all about these young people that are coming into a league that people are excited to watch and see how they develop. People like you and Annika, when we're stripped of that as a fan, it takes away from the pleasure of the sport, right? Because I'm a nerd about CrossFit. I want to see all the young athletes come up, and I want to see how they do. And when that's ripped away, it sucks for us as fans because we're not seeing the best of the best.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like I don't know if she said it, but from my friendship with Annika, she's a games athlete. She's there. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm a games athlete, but what I will say is I'm very, very confident in the strides I've made since I've been out here that I can display something at semifinals. Does that mean I'm a last chance qualifier athlete? Does that mean I'm a top heat athlete? I don't know. But all I know is I would be going in there very low seated, obviously, because even with the adjustment to event 3, I'm still 120, right? But I know that's not my fitness level. I know that when we get to do these more fun events, like heavier, higher skill, that's when the best of the best get to shine, And the whole season it's been, man, I just need to get there. I just need to get to semifinals so I can show I'm better in person. And I know a lot of people that are like that. So it's like, just get through the online stuff. Just get through it. Just get through it. Once you get to that, it's smoother sailing, in my opinion, for what I'm good at. And then I know there's other people like that too. Like the people that Kelly Stone, you've had her on. So I trained with one of the guys on the team at her gym. So I know Kelly. She barely squeaked in last year, right? Almost qualified. Your quarterfinals don't necessarily dictate how your semifinals are going to go. And
Right.
so the people that should have made it in that first round of invites in the initial 120 that don't get to, they're being robbed of that. They're being robbed of the opportunity to say, hey, like I was 120, I was whatever, I barely made it in, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get dead last at my semifinal. I might almost qualify. Bailey Rail, I train here with her. She was a backfill last year and she won her semifinal. She made it. Pretty sure she won.
Yeah. It was either first or second.
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
you're just robbing that opportunity from several athletes out there. And I see an issue with that.
Well, and in addition to that, the fact of the matter is you're 21 years old. You've lived through COVID for the last 2 years. You don't have the in-person experience that most athletes get at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And you're being stripped of that for another year. Those are key things in the journey to becoming a games athlete that you need.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's something I've known. Like the experience is huge because one thing about my teenage career is I missed the games I was 3 spots in 2016, 1 rep in 2017. So then 18 is my rookie year and I qualified in 4th. And I went in and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how to approach the weekend. I don't know any of the logistics. I don't have the experience. Like, so my rookie year, I should have known the ropes because I missed by 1 rep. So it's like, how valuable that experience is. And then even in 2020, before COVID, I went to strength and depth, which was a ridiculous field. I was 18 competing against Frazier was there. Like the best of the best were there. Taking that experience and then a month and a half later going to Brazil, the experience from a month and a half before that, and then even taking that experience into my training leading into Brazil, I was a completely different athlete within a month and a half because that experience it pays off.
Well, Logan, I'm hoping that this gets rectified fairly quickly. I hope that this helps getting the word out and letting people know that what all has been transpiring, that for those of us who aren't hitting refresh every day on the leaderboard. And with that, I want to just thank you for being on, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Just getting it out there, Hopefully again, not just me. Hopefully anybody else in this situation. Hopefully this helps them. Hopefully more people are going to open up. And you'll see it on Instagram, see it YouTube, whatever. So all these people can just get their opportunity that they deserve, that they earned. Not deserve. I don't like that word. I like earned because they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we will keep pounding the drum and hopefully get you some more views and so people know your story.
Appreciate it.
And with that, we'll talk to you soon, man. Keep us updated.
Oh, I will.
If you hear anything else, man.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.